You're listening to Mad Men Sports, a Buffalo Bills podcast. To my left, we have Timon Dave. Dave, buddy, how are you today?
Very good, man. How are you? Go Bills.
Good, go Bills. We finally have some legitimate football.
We have something to talk about.
Something to talk about. That's all we've been wanting. Zach, how you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself, Jake?
Good.
Good to hear. We had a nice Bills game. The Colts played the Bills in New Era Stadium. That's good to say out loud, and it's fun to watch. I mean, just a great experience. Much better than February nothing and then March nothing. We had an actual football game. No, it doesn't count, but it counts in my heart, and that's what really matters, right?
Yeah, guys, I mean, I still had my heart pumping every time the Bills made a play, so it's all real to me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have it back. I wish Andrew Luck played. Wanted to see how he would do it against our defense, but it's still exciting to see. Offense looked great. Running backs are a lot of firepower at running back. It's exciting.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely good to see kind of the ones settle in. I mean, I really liked what I saw from the Bills defense. I think the first time the Colts converted a third down was late into the second quarter. So, I mean, you got to be happy with what you see there. I mean, Jordan Poyer looked really good. Micah Hyde didn't play. He was kind of nursing a neck injury. Of course, Jerry Hughes had a vet day. Lorenzo Alexander also had a vet day. So McCoy, yeah, also didn't play. So, I mean, you had some of your kind of key players not seeing any play time. But, I mean, it's good for those younger guys. I mean, we saw Ed Oliver kind of make an impact. I mean, it didn't really show on the stat line, but you still saw him kind of in the thick of things consistently. Starla Tulele actually had a tackle.
Yeah.
So, there's your boy.
I'll get off his back.
You know who I didn't see, though? I did not see Lee Smith. And that's a problem.
He probably had a veteran day, right?
Yeah, kind of sticking with the defense here. Just on this side of the ball, the team looks sound all the way around. Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott have really put the time in to really make that side of the ball really sound, and they were great last year, top two. I know we talk about whether or not that counts or not because it's yardage, not so much the prolific numbers you'd see like with stats, interceptions, and fumbles. But this is a sound fundamentally team, and they have the playmakers on the side of the ball that when it is time to put it up pads on for the real thing, I trust them to make the plays. And just seeing them up against another team today, I guess, really helped comfort me a little bit more because it's always better seeing these guys against something different. Obviously, next week they go to Carolina. They practice against those guys all week. We're going to see another game. But it's good to kind of see them be the team that's ahead of the curve for once, and obviously that side of the ball was going to be on the right upswing of things because you have Matt Milano, who you really want to see how he comes back from that injury. Missed a lot. I mean, he missed the rest of the last season. Tremaine Edmonds is coming into his second year. He's going to have to make a big impact. Looks like he's going to take some steps. He was making some point-of contact tackles, which is really what you want to see. You don't want to see him kind of fall into the Paul Posluszny type of situation where he's always making a tackle, which was great. Paul Posluszny did that, but it was always 6 yards after the line of scrimmage. And seeing Tremaine Edmonds step up and make at the line of scrimmage tackles is really what matters. So really kind of just seeing the defense mature and kind of grow into their own, even after putting up great numbers last year, was really exciting to me. And hopefully they can continue that throughout the season. It is preseason. It doesn't count. They didn't even have the starting quarterback going up against them. But this matters because you have to start getting into the swing of things of getting ready to tackle another team. They looked great doing it. Even the second team did great. And even the third team, honestly, when you put them in, these coaches have put these concepts into motion and have everyone bought into them so that the defense looks like they're ready to pounce. And I'm ready week one. Try to, filter out your starters. Maybe you don't need certain guys playing because you already know what they bring. But let's hope we can stay healthy on that side of the ball and just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, another player coming back from injury is Taron Johnson. He did not play yesterday, right, Jake?
Correct. Yeah, no. He wasn't even dressed.
I would like to see how he does because Suri Neal's looking pretty well in that nickel position.
Yeah,
sounds like we have a good problem on our hands.
Even Lafayette Pitts played pretty well last night too, which
he's fighting for a spot.
Yeah, the defensive backs have played very well, honestly, the last couple years. But seeing them look good last night, and I mean the cornerbacks are in a heated, contested battle there. I mean, this is one of the position battles we've been talking about all season, or all off season. Excuse me. This is where someone's going to have to separate themselves in the preseason games because going up against practice, you're just going to see the same thing every day. But when the pads are on, the lights are on, there's another team in front of you. This is where you're going to be able to separate who's who and where's where. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cornerback number 2 is kind of the biggest question on our defense, which we
It's a
have
good problem to
answers.
have, yeah.
And exactly, especially when we have answers. So,
Well, with EJ Gaines out, it's up to Kevin Johnson or Levi Wallace.
To keep that
So
spot.
those two will be going at it. Hopefully, someone claims it next week in Carolina.
Listen, this game against the Colts was awesome for the defense. It just kind of surefires my Sunday feeling about. I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl still. I mean, it's early. Obviously, you can't predict things like that week one of the preseason, but it did make me stop thinking about that. I know that's for sure.
yeah, let's talk about that guy who used to play the sport with that funny-looking football. Christian Wade. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. I'm just glad it happened. His first NFL touch, first time he's ever touched a American football,
I don't know if that's true. He's
scores
definitely done it in practice.
a 65-yard touchdown. Dude's got wheels.
Almost untouched.
I want him to be good, of course. Everyone wants him to succeed. But could you just imagine? I don't think many people take this exchange program really well, but in a perfect world, a fantasy land, what if Christian Wade is a actual NFL running back?
His biggest enemy right now is the loaded backfield the Buffalo Bills already have. TJ Yeldon had a fumble yesterday.
Yeah, he's gone.
And maybe 2 yards. He did not look very good. So you could probably take him out of that factor unless he blows it up in Carolina. Murphy didn't look bad. Obviously, Singletary's not going anywhere. Sororius Perry also had a touchdown and didn't look bad. So he's got an uphill climb. All he's got to do is keep doing what he's doing, and maybe he has a spot.
Yeah, hot takes. Norris Perry's making this team based on his special teams contributors. Yeah, I mean,
That's a bold prediction.
exactly. I don't think he'll make anything of it in terms of his running back position, but he's a solid special team player. And in a pinch, he can still run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. It's hard to find feel-good stories in the preseason. Christian Wade definitely brought one. His first carry is for 65 yards. It's a hard storyline to write. It's like Vince Papale, from the Eagles. It's kind of getting, you get the guy an opportunity, you might make something of it. Again, it's preseason, so, I mean, it doesn't matter yet, but it matters for him more than anyone else, probably because that's his first action. Now, I don't know, the way he was holding that ball, wasn't so sure. Maybe if someone does hit him, but this is a rugby player, so I mean, he can, take a hit. Those guys are bare knuckle boxers for all I care. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are terrifying.
He's taking his opportunity, though. Everyone else is one injury away from not having a roster spot. So he's taking his opportunity. He's going with it. This week, he only had one carry for 65 yards and a touchdown. Next week, maybe 2 carries. We'll see what happens.
For 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Then, yes, he makes the team.
Yeah,
See you,
Christian
McCoy.
Wade's like 5 injuries away from making this team, so hopefully we don't have to harp on him for too much. Josh Allen, guys, what do you think about his take? I mean, he looks solid. He's as solid as you want him to look without too much scheming and planning.
So one thing that was definitely noticeable yesterday was Zay Jones had 5 targets. So Zay Jones is obviously his number 1 receiver, at least yesterday. It
Something
could change.
comfortable, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen did not look like a franchise quarterback. And that's fine. It's the first preseason game, first drive, lack of scheme, really lack of trying. I mean, you're not really going 100% in these preseason games. I am still excited to see what Josh Allen does moving forward. He did show some promises. He did use his legs. He looks like he's a lot smarter when running the ball, which I'm a big fan of. I don't think, unfortunately, we're going to be seeing many hurdles this year. Smarter with the ball. I think that's my biggest takeaway from last night.
I would say in terms of Josh Allen himself, I'd say he looked exactly as I wanted him to look. 6 for 11 isn't beautiful, but it's pretty. I'll take that. I mean, I'm going to take that to the bank. He didn't throw any wild interceptions, nothing crazy like that. He had a drop touchdown by Zay Jones, which who cares? It's not like the game counts anyway. So whatever, drop pass, fix it in the regular season. I would say I got exactly out of Josh Allen is what I really wanted out of Josh Allen yesterday. I got 11 dropbacks and I got over 50% completion percentage. It's really what I care about. I just want to make sure he's making decisions. I want him to, slowly rip the Band-Aid off in the season. Does he look like our franchise quarterback in preseason? I don't know if anyone does. I mean, Tom Brady doesn't even play in the preseason. But, I mean, we're not going to find that out in game one of the preseason. But I think I saw exactly what I wanted to see out of Josh Allen yesterday. He looked good to me.
One thing I'm going to say that I'm hopefully not saying all year, this team needs a tight end. We need to get ourselves a tight end.
They have like 4 on the
Sweeney
injury
is
list.
a tight end.
It'll make Josh Allen that much better. We need a tight end.
They have 4 on the injury list. Let's see if they can heal up a little bit, and then we'll see where we're at with that. It's definitely early in the preseason. I don't even know if there's any tight ends out there. I mean, if there's a race to tight ends, you gotta beat the Patriots because now they have an injury at the tight end spot. I mean, if there's tight ends out there to be had that are worth having, go get them.
I just got to get one of these injuries guys injured back to get chemistry. It's what he needed last year.
Yeah,
100%.
that's tough because Tyler Kroft. That's who you want to be in. Dawson Knox showed so much promise. Jason Kroom, of course, just the familiarity of the offense. So you definitely need all of those players back. I definitely agree with you, Dave.
Yeah, real quick, what the fans want to hear is how did the offensive line look?
I thought they looked solid. They gave him time in the pocket, which isn't something that can be, ever taken for granted. Time in the pocket matters, and that's something that they really lacked last year. And going back to what I said about Allen, I think he looked a little bit more comfortable in the dropbacks. I think he was able to go through his reads a little bit more, and I think that's a kind of a credit to the offensive line for giving him a pocket to stand in and letting the ball loose.
Any Cody Ford update? How'd he look?
Yeah, so he started the game at right tackle, second quarter moved to right guard. I honestly think, I know Cody Ford's kind of normal position is to play that tackle, but I think we need to keep him at guard because Ty Nsekhe needs to be out on this field. He needs playing time. So I don't know if he's going to get that with Cody Ford at tackle. So move him inside, keep Ty Nsekhe at tackle. I think we'll be just fine.
I like how you say Ty Nsekhe. It rolls off your tongue.
Thank you. Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it.
I'm going to be honest. They definitely have some depth on the offensive line as well. I really think that the second team really helped Barkley look great yesterday, which, whether or not anyone has any opinions on Barkley himself, he's definitely going to be a perfect backup complement for Josh Allen for hopefully not only this season, but a couple seasons down the line as well. But that second team offensive line looked like it started to gel a little bit, starting to show some depth. Preseason's a different breed, man. Football's the ultimate team sport, but when it comes to preseason, everyone's playing for the name on the back of their jersey because it's either you do or you don't in preseason. Either you can do exactly what the coaches are telling you to go out there to do, or you're cut and you're looking for a new job tomorrow. Like, this is the most important time for some of these players' career. So watching the offensive line from the first team, the second team, and even some of the third stringers kind of gel and look good, I don't think I had too much of a problem with the offensive line as a whole. I think Bobby Johnson has done a great job thus far. I think these guys look like they're ready. Also, it's preseason going against, but same to say on the other side of the ball for those defensive linemen going up against them. They're trying to make a play, and for the most part, the offensive line kind of stood stout and stopped them from making any game-changing plays. They had the botch snap, but that's not an offensive line move. It's just kind of a miscommunication. It's nothing else.
Something that's getting the message boards talking and a few of my friends talking, and we talked about it a little bit too before this podcast, is Harrison Phillips in the doghouse. He was playing till the last snap of the game. He wasn't even penciled in as a starter. He was a backup and played every four quarters of the game.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was slating him as a starter.
Is he a bubble player right now?
I don't know if he's a bubble player. He's still very
player.
early on his rookie contract, so I don't think we'll get rid of him. It might just be kind of like hey, you had limited snaps last year. We want you to grow into this role potentially moving forward. I want to see how you handle a big workload. I think it's as simple as that.
It sounds like an overreaction, I agree, but it's getting people talking.
I think it's nothing more than they have a solid rotation at defensive tackle that they're going to have all season, that they had last season. They're just going to rotate these guys through. If you have that much depth at the defensive tackle position and you know who your guys are going to be, like we said numerous times before, the defensive tackle spot is a spot that we kind of know who's going to be on this team. So there's not a lot of like questionable depth there. There's no guys really making a roster there. So you're going to have to probably play some of those guys a little bit longer than you'd like because you're not going to have extra players there. And Harrison Phillips is a second-year guy. Maybe get his feet wet a little bit more. A couple more reps in a preseason game isn't going to kill the guy. Hopefully it doesn't.
It has to be more telling this week in Carolina. We'll see.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that preseason game. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to the joint practices. I do like the joint practices. Jake, do you have a certain opinion on the joint practices?
Yeah, especially since where it is in Carolina, it's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. Players are going to get chippy, and that's going to turn over into the preseason game. So I think we're going to actually see a little bit more kind of fiery preseason game than we normally see just because of that possibly chippiness that we saw in practice. So I'm excited. I think it's a good idea. I mean, the Bills used to do it with the Browns and then the Steelers. It's kind of good to get away from your guys and practice hard and practice with intensity.
I love it. I think it's great the defense has a chance to go against a quarterback like Cam Newton. I think the offense has a chance to go against a defense that they don't see often, a 3-4 type defense, especially in practice. I think it'll be great to see.
Yeah, it's going to be good for Tremaine Edmonds to go up against a great quarterback like Cam Newton, just like Dave said. And then it's going to be good for Josh Allen to get different looks from another defense for a whole week. And then on top of it, go into a game and then have them kind of, rough them up a little bit. Obviously, they're not going to be hitting quarterbacks too hard. They don't even do that in the regular season anymore. But I'm excited. I think it's going to bring some intensity. It's really going to show you more of a NFL game setting rather than the kind of puff football preseason presents to you.
Yeah, again, it's all a matter of just stay freaking healthy, please.
Yeah, that's really all that matters in this time of the year. Just get us to week 1, and then we'll let it all happen.
All right, that's the game. Good talk there.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for coming into another episode of Mad Men Sports Podcast. Check out Sunday. We'll have another podcast for you. Dave, I think you want
Should
to
be a
speak
fun
on that.
one. I should be half in the bag drinking Black Button, watching SummerSlam. Should be a fun one. Going back to my 10-year-old roots.
Yeah, there you go, man. Kind of getting the wrestling back in. Of course, if you have any questions, email us at madmensports@gmail.com. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes. Anywhere you can find us in podcasting, streaming. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. You know where to find us. You guys have a good one. Go Bills.